Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Gladiator 2, and this is a long gestating sequel to the hit Best Picture winner from 2000, starring Russell Crowe, directed by Ridley Scott. Scott's back in the director's chair, but this time we're focusing on Lucius, the child from the first film, now played by Paul Mescal, who has long been in another land. And when Roman war comes upon his home, his wife is killed, and he is captured by war by Marcus Acacius, played by Pedro Pascal, and he's brought sweeping back to Rome, sold into gladiatorial fighting, and now owned by Denzel Washington's Macrinus, and now, Rome is ruled by these two just extremely flamboyant and boyish emperors, Geta and Caracalla, played by Joseph Quinn and Fred Hetchinger. And this film has so many moving pieces. Right off the bat, the film sets up, hey, you have Lucius. He wants to kill Marcus Acacius because he killed his wife. Okay, we could buy into that. And he represents these evil emperors, and okay, good. And then you have what's Macrinus wanting out of this, and then you have Connie Nielsen's Lucilla, who wants to reconnect with her son, and then there's plot thread after plot thread after plot thread. And what started as a very, empathetic story of we want to see Lucius get some revenge for the death of his wife, the very simple plot that we had from the original Gladiator. And then, the original Gladiator starts getting a little bit broader in terms of the dream of Rome. This gets there too, except 50 other layers to it, and it gets overly complicated, and nothing really gets enough focus for us to really care about it. There's way too many characters, and the film also has way too many just echoes of the original Gladiator film, from characters to plot threads. Sure, they tried to do some interesting things, and probably the most interesting new development into the story and layer is Denzel Washington's Macrinus, who, you're not 100% sure what his full motivations are till deep into the film, but you realize, he's playing the Game of Thrones in this particular film and really playing politics and trying to rise up. And he sees an instrument of that mission in Lucius. And you just have so many moving pieces, so many familiar beats just recycled and repackaged from the original film. But this film is thoroughly entertaining. And it moves. For a 2.5-hour movie, this movie moves. And there's a lot going on, but it's engaging and entertaining along the way. The spectacle, the action is thrilling. You got big rhino sequence and sharks and ships and sword fights and all kinds of nuttiness. I do feel there's some logic leaps and things that you just have to take for granted for this all to play together. And sure, Gladiator, the original film, wasn't the most complex, story and stuff like that, but it was so effectively written. There's powerful speeches, and this film has some fine speeches. I don't think enough of it really lives up to the same level. I do really like Paul Mescal as an actor, and I think he does a fine job as Lucius. I care about him enough. I empathize with him. I don't feel like he has the same presence as a Russell Crowe, and Lucius just kind of feels a little bit of a shadow of, his father, because surprise, surprise, that's the biggest shocking surprise that they ever came up with for Gladiator movies, that he's actually Maximus's son, because you didn't see that one coming. And I do think that the cast, though, really sells a lot of this. Denzel Washington is really fantastic and just hamming it up, very flamboyant and cunty and just going right for it and endlessly enjoyable to watch in this film. I think Pedro Pascal offers a weight of honor and just what he brings to the table, you appreciate. Connie Nielsen is great, and then the two twinky, flamboyant emperors are just over the top ridiculous, and they're just fun to watch. This film is overdone, overstuffed, but everything feels like it's just a little bit of a shadow of the original film, where I love the original Gladiator. It's really high up there in terms of my favorite movies. This feels like it's like a half a step or a step and a half behind. But you have like the score from Henry Gregerson Williams, and it's a really fine job. But like you notice how great the music is when they start playing the music from the original, because Hans Zimmer's score and Lisa Gerrard did so much to bring that to the table. I think Ridley Scott's direction, like, you feel the scale, you feel the intensity of the action sequences. You step into the Colosseum and you feel it. And there's few directors that could capture that epicness and scale in today's day and age. Like, you have the Cecil B. DeMille's and William Wylers of, decades ago. But Ridley Scott can really still sell the spectacle, and he certainly does with this. But those are my thoughts on Gladiator 2. Let me know what you think. Let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.